हार्ट का, एंड इट लीड्स टू नेक्रोसिस. नेक्रोसिस मीन्स ऑक्सीजन सप्लाई नहीं होने की वजह से द मसल्स बिकमिंग डेड. सो व्हेनेवर देयर इज 75% or more blockage in your coronary artery, it will start causing you the problem of ischemia. And if you don't reverse this problem immediately of high cholesterol and high triglycerides and all, then this 75 will become 80, 80 will become 85, 85 will become 90, and the person will start having myocardial infarction, heart attack. लेकिन उसके पहले बहुत टाइम दर्द होता रहेगा पेशेंट को हार्ट में, और टाइटनेस फील होगा, और टाइटनेस के साथ साथ पूरी बॉडी में बहुत गर्मी हो जाता है, एंड देयर इज अ लॉट ऑफ स्वेट ड्रॉपलेट्स ऑन द forehead, and the hair becomes absolutely wet because of excessive sweating in the head region. So this is the symptom of a cardiac arrest coming around, that you have a lot of sweating on the head and palpitations and tightness in the chest. Okay, so it says that how long does atherosclerosis take to develop? So as I told you yesterday, that this problem of atherosclerosis or deposition of the fatty streaks will start in the early childhood when you are just 1 year old, but it will keep progressing till later. And it says that atherosclerosis progresses rapidly in the 30s. Okay, in others, it doesn't become dangerous until they reach about 50s and 60s. So once even when you've had very bad eating and drinking habits and you've been smoking for a while, you will not really get very serious symptoms till the time you're 40 years old. But after the age of 40, all that smoking and drinking and red meat and all the processed food like bread, biscuits, pastas that you had eaten in the earlier age is going to now give effect after the age of 40, and you will have very serious symptoms, because as the body progresses, even in the healthier cases, we see that as age progresses, you will start having the fatty streaks deposition with the passage of time, and your HDL starts to fall down with the passage of age, and LDL starts increasing even otherwise. And imagine if you add all these wrong habits to your lifestyle, then the deterioration is much faster. Okay, so for all these coronary artery diseases, the risk factors, as we had done yesterday also, in the non-modifiable section, we see only 3: increasing age, gender, and family history. So increasing age, of course, as I told you, predisposes a person more to having this problem. And gender, the males are more predisposed to having the cardiac arrest because they have the problem of central obesity genetically. It says that in the South Asia, there is this genetic problem of like central obesity or apple shaped obesity, so which predisposes person to having the coronary artery disease. And as I told you, central obesity is equal to those 4 diseases, right? Which is metabolic syndrome, which is hypertension, cardiovascular disorders, and diabetes mellitus type 2. So these 4 problems comes when your upper abdomen or your above navel fat is very, very high, or your tummy is like coming out or protruding out. And family history, definitely, if genetically everybody in your family has died because of high cholesterol and heart attack, then then you also will be more predisposed to having that problem. But as I told you, that your genes are not very powerful to be causing the disease. It is your lifestyle, that is your eating and lifestyle habits, that is going to be more powerful in effect of causing the diseases. So you have nothing to worry. 77% is in your hands. That 23% which is genes, that can be taken care of when you take care of this 77% जो voluntarily आपके हाथ में होती है. देन मॉडिफाइबल रिस्क फैक्टर सबसे ज्यादा इंटरेस्टिंग होते हैं, बिकॉज ये पूरी तरह से आपके हाथ में होते हैं इनको बढ़ाना, इनको घटाना. सो व्हेन वी टॉक अबाउट दीज, द मॉडिफाइबल रिस्क फैक्टर इज हाई LDL cholesterol. That is when your LDL becomes more than 100, you should actually get alarmed about it, and you should immediately try to reduce it by increasing your walk, by not eating meat at all, by increasing the fiber in your diet, by eating the phytochemicals or the colors and flavors of different fruits and vegetables, or by adding omega-3 to your diet, because omega-3 also immediately lowers your LDL level. So when you take care of all these things, your health is taken care of. And then next is low HDL cholesterol. So HDL is high density lipoprotein. That means that we want this to be optimally more than 40 for sure. Okay, so in all the reports that I've seen of late, I've seen HDL to be like 25 30, 35 20, 30, like that. Yeah, I've never not seen in anybody who's more than 40. So if you take care of this again by a good lifestyle, you are not a threat for cardiovascular disorders. And the third one is high blood pressure. So please keep your blood pressure in control. Yesterday Shreya shared with us that how she's taken care of the blood pressure of her patients, and so there was someone else also who had shared that how the blood pressure got controlled with the diet alone, and the person is not at all on the medication right now. So yes, BP does get controlled by the diet and lifestyle totally. And fourth is diabetes. So diabetes को भी check में रखना बहुत जरूरी होता है. So diabetes अगर control में रहेगा. About diabetes we've already spoken a lot, I think, in the last webinar, how to control and how to test and what are the foods, and I had also given you a diet chart. So with that one can take care of the diabetes as well. And the next modifiable risk factor is obesity, especially the abdominal or the central obesity. इसको तो जैसे ही पेट निकलना शुरू हो वैसे ही कम कर लेना चाहिए. The best way to do is Kapalbhati and leg raises. Leg raises is like lie down flat on the floor and raise your legs by bit, like 15 degrees for 5 seconds, 30 degrees for 5 seconds, 45 degrees for 5 seconds, and likewise. Then it's taken care of. And then the next is physical inactivity. Of course, you have to take care of physical inactivity because sedentary lifestyle is one of the major reasons of causing of the coronary artery diseases. Then the next is cigarette smoking. Cigarette तो आपको रोकना ही पड़ेगा, नहीं तो हार्ट प्रॉब्लम बिल्कुल कितना भी आप अच्छा डाइट दो और कितनी भी आप एक्सरसाइज करवाओ, अगर पर्सन सिगरेट स्मोकिंग करता है then there is no way that he can get saved from the heart diseases, because nicotine does this for us. And like nicotine is so powerful that it can actually go to your brain and it controls the beating of the heart, it controls the activities and of all the involuntary muscles, not just the heart. निकोटीन सारे इनवॉलंटरी मसल्स की एक्टिविटी को कंट्रोल करती है. सो स्पेशली विद हार्ट वी कैन नॉट टेक एनी काइंड ऑफ अ पंगा विद द हार्ट, राइट? बिकॉज इफ फॉर 2 seconds or 3 seconds also if it misses a beat, it actually can be very, very fatal. So cigarette is something we need to stop, and I had mentioned yesterday that if somebody is not able to stop the cigarette, then they're supposed to chew the cigarette हम कभी भी ना लोगों को कम बंद नहीं करवा सकते. It's not considered to be good. Like you cannot tell if somebody is smoking like a packet of cigarette in a day और आप उसको बोलो कि कल से आपको बिल्कुल सिगरेट नहीं पीना है. ये हम नहीं करा सकते सिगरेट स्मोकर्स को, ये रिकमेंडेड भी नहीं होता है, because nicotine actually has already taken control of your brain, like the cerebrum and cerebellum and all the autonomic nervous system. So so if somebody is habituated of having nicotine, you have to taper it, you cannot stop it totally. So what we do is, otherwise people can have cardiac arrest. Like if somebody is a smoker, regular smoker, and you tell that person कि कल से आपको बिल्कुल स्मोक नहीं करनी है, तो उनको कार्डियक अरेस्ट भी हो जाता है. तो इसलिए हम एकदम से लोगों का रोकते नहीं हैं. टेपर हम ऐसे करते हैं that we allow them to have like out of 10 cigarettes if they were having earlier, we allow them to have 6 like smoke करके, and rest of them we can actually give them nicotine chewing gums जो केमिस्ट के यहाँ पे अवेलेबल होती है, और उसमें से थोड़ा थोड़ा निकोटीन निकलता है कंट्रोल लेवल्स में, and that goes to the brain, and of course you are spared of the smoke, धुआं नहीं निकलता है सिगरेट का में, और धुएं से भी बचते हो बिकॉज वो धुआं इज कार्बन मोनोऑक्साइड, और वो कार्बन मोनोऑक्साइड गैस जाके ऑक्सीजन की जगह ब्लड में ले लेती है, तो सांस में भी दिक्कत आनी शुरू होती है, एंड लंग्स में भी बहुत ज्यादा मक का डिपोजिशन होने लग जाता है। तो अब वो नहीं होगा क्योंकि आप च्युइंगम खा रहे हो, तो स्मोक बिल्कुल भी नहीं आ रहा। और दूसरी चीज कि निकोटीन के पैचेस आते हैं, वो बैंडेड की तरह लगते हैं, उनमें से भी धीरे धीरे सबक्यूटेनियस टिश्यूज में निकोटीन जाता है, कैपिलरीज एब्जॉर्ब कर लेती हैं, तो आप वो दे सकते हो लोगों को। सो यू कैन गिव लाइक निकोटीन पैचेस एंड निकोटीन च्युइंग गम्स इंस्टेड ऑफ गिविंग सिगरेट टू पीपल। तो धीरे धीरे एक्चुअली बिकॉज अनकंट्रोल ब्लड प्रेशर होता है और वो सब, तो अपने आप ही उनका कम हो जाता है लेना। So any person who is coming to you for diet consultation is seeking help, okay? Is seeking help. So they are open to the change that you are trying to tell them. So when you explain to people about the negative effect of cigarette smoking, then they will understand and they will want to reverse it, because they have been suffering so much because of these diseases and central obesity and uncontrolled BP. इसीलिए तो वो आपके पास पैसे दे के आए ना, वरना आपको 5,000 रुपीज दे के आपके पास कौन आएगा महीने के? जिनको चेंज करना होगा वो ही आते हैं। तो हमारे पास जो पेशेंट्स आते हैं, लेकिन आपको करेक्ट नॉलेज होना जरूरी होता है, बिकॉज दैट इज व्हाट यू नीड टू कन्वे टू देम। सो व्हेन यू टॉक विद अ लॉट ऑफ रीजन एंड लॉजिक एंड विद अ लॉट ऑफ क्लैरिटी टू पीपल, then they always understand, and they want to reverse it. But you should also understand their problem of not being able to control something overnight. धीरे धीरे करके आप दो उनको, as I told you कि उनको अलाउ कर दो 6 सिगरेट स्मोक करना, एकदम से मतलब कोई मैजिक वॉन्ड की तरह चेंजेस नहीं होते हैं लाइफस्टाइल में। सो 6 वो पियेंगे और बाकी का वो च्युइंगम खा लेंगे जब उनको मन करेगा, और उसके अलावा निकोटीन के पैचेस लगा लेंगे। पैचेस में 3 से 4 घंटे तक replace it with the new patch, अगर उनको अभी भी अर्ज हो रही है निकोटीन की। सो ये निकोटीन की अर्ज एक्चुअली ब्रेन से होती है, बिकॉज ब्रेन आपके वॉलंटरी इनवॉलंटरी फंक्शंस कंट्रोल करता है, और वो निकोटीन के कंट्रोल में है ब्रेन आपका। सो इसलिए जैसे कैफीन के साथ होता है, वैसे निकोटीन के साथ होता है। So this is how it works. So this is about the cigarette smoking. So cigarette smoking is a huge risk factor for diabetes also, because it causes diabetes when we had learned it, and because it causes insulin insensitivity, and it is one of the very big factors for all the cardiovascular disorders. Blood pressure तो एकदम से होता है, as I told you, because cigarette smoking increases the viscosity of the blood or the thickness of the blood. And of course nicotine is also cutting down the release of the statins, the chemicals that controls your cholesterol and triglyceride, तो इसलिए cigarette smoking को control करना पड़ता है। And then last but not the least, very important is diets high in saturated fats, trans fat and cholesterol. So obviously if somebody is having a very high SFA diet, SFAs क्या होते हैं? Those fats and oils which get solidified at a temperature of 20 degrees Celsius or below. Okay, they are called saturated fats. So जमने वाले तेल जैसे coconut oil, देसी घी, palm oil, so these are called saturated fats. So yeah, saturated fats actually increase they are cholesterolemic in nature. They don't carry cholesterol, Desi ghee of course carries cholesterol because it is an animal source, but coconut that reason. Then trans fat is again something we don't recommend to people, and cholesterol, dietary cholesterol, we will not give to people, at least CVD patients at all. We are going to talk about it a little later in the fat section when we do the nutrients. So it says the modifiable risk factors में the diets high in saturated fat, trans fat and cholesterol not to be given होती है, and diets which is low in fruits, vegetables and whole grains. These three are also called alkaline foods. Okay, fruits, vegetables and whole grains. So अगर alkaline food आप बहुत कम ले रहे हो, then you are precipitating the cardiovascular disorders in the body. Not just this, you're precipitating all the diseases. So when we talk about hypothyroidism, then also we tell people to consume fruits, vegetables and whole grains. When we give detox diet to people, then also we tell them fruits, vegetables and whole grains. When we talk about a hypertensive diet or a high blood pressure diet, then also we give these foods. Then when we talk about PCOS, then also we give fruits, vegetables and whole grains. When we talk about people having cancer, then also we give fruits, vegetables and whole grains. When we have knee pains, joints, rheumatoid arthritis, osteoarthritis, then also we tell them to have fruits, vegetables and whole grains. So you see the effect of it, that basically your body needs fiber, your body needs alkaline food, your body needs antioxidants, and your body needs phytochemicals, that is colors and flavors of different fruits and vegetables. So when you give this kind of a food, as I told you earlier also last time when we were talking, every disease which is happening to us is happening when your body is on an acidic mode. Okay, because the human body is alkaline, give alkaline food. And what are the alkaline foods? Fruits, vegetables and whole grains. Okay, so when you make the blood pH alkaline, automatically you will see that everything starts falling into the normal realm, you know, in terms of the hormones, in terms of chemicals, in terms of enzyme, in terms of reversal of the diseases, in terms of removal of the toxins, because toxicity के कारण ही बीमारियां होती हैं. So वो toxin किसी भी body के organ को जाके attack कर देता है. Like in this case वो arteries को attack कर रहा है, right? In diabetic case वो जाके आपको insulin insensitive कर देता है. In case of PCOS वो जाके आपकी ovaries पे attack करता है. In case of hypothyroidism, toxins जाके आपके thyroid gland को attack करते हैं. Eventually we want to remove the toxins from the roots of your body. Okay, hence fruits, vegetables and whole grains, which are very, very important. So this one thing you have to understand always, that you know the common thing is that try and make the person vegetarian अगर आपके पास किसी भी disease का कोई आता है, because non vegetarian में fiber बिल्कुल zero होता है, तो वो हम बिल्कुल भी नहीं देते लोगों को. यू नो लाइक फाइबर फ्री डाइट, फाइबर देना बहुत जरूरी होता है. और इनमें यू नो लाइक एक डेड एनिमल खाने की वजह से आपकी बॉडी में एनलिवन नहीं होते हैं सेल्स कुछ भी. यू नो अलाइव फूड कहते हैं. सो जो योगिक फूड्स होते हैं, on that also we study that foods that can give birth to another life is going to give birth to your livelihood also, your energy, vitality. Okay, like अगर दाल्स होती है तो आप जब दाल सॉइल में डालते हो तो नया दाल का पौधा निकलता है, right? A new plant will grow from those lentils and pulses. So if you put wheat or if you put bajra or ragi or jawar, then a new plant will origin from there. If you put any vegetables and fruits, a new vegetable and fruit plant will emerge from there. So a food that can emerge a new life is going to give you life. Okay, a food which is dead will sap your total energy and it will make you an angry and you know like a very high acidic kind of a person from within, and it will give you problems. So one first factor whether you're dealing with any disease is first to make the person vegetarian for the moment. If you cannot make vegan it's okay. Vegan means दूध and दूध के products भी नहीं देने होते हैं उसमें, तो vegan मत बनाओ लेकिन vegetarian बना दो. Added fiber add करो diet में by giving something raw to them. Always make one meal kacha, you know, rawish, like give sprouts or give salads or give whole fruits in any one of the meal. Preferably for breakfast is where I recommend, because your body's metabolism is maximum for breakfast. So having a live food will always give you a lot of life for your entire day, and it's going to make you robust and full of energy when you have a very live food for your breakfast. More you cook the food, more you're taking away the nutritional value. ओके, सो हेवीली कुक फूड दे सकते हो. आपको राजमा छोले तो आपको करने ही पड़ेंगे, लेकिन उसका सैलेड भी बन सकता है इफ यू कैन एक्चुअली जस्ट ट्राई एंड डू इट. So hence adding of the fruits, vegetable and whole grains becomes very important. when we are dealing with any disease for that matter, because you have to have your blood pH as alkaline, which is 7.35 to 7.45, which is the blood pH. Okay, now we'll just see the normal levels of LDL, total cholesterol, and HDL and triglyceride that I've been talking about. So I've told you know that these things should be on your tips. What are the normal levels? So first let's do about LDL cholesterol, which is the low density lipoprotein. LDL is also called the bad cholesterol. Why is it called bad? Because it takes away the fat from your the dietary fat and the hepatic fat, and it goes and deposits that fat in your arteries. इसलिए इसको bad cholesterol बोलते हैं. ठीक है, तो इसका normal level होना चाहिए below 100. I told you about that yesterday also, no? बिलो 100 है, नॉर्मल लेवल्स है. अगर 100 to 129 है तो नियर ऑप्टिमल है, मतलब नॉर्मल नहीं है, नॉर्मल से ज्यादा है. लेकिन फिर भी 130 तक हम जनरली लोगों को डराते नहीं है कि आपका हाई हो गया है या कुछ हो गया है. 130 तक थोड़ा यू कैन बी चिल्ड आउट अबाउट इट because it's not that high. But 130 to 159 borderline high होता है, 160 to 189 is high, and more than 190 is called very very high. But just to let you know that one figure, because इतना सारा याद रखना आपके लिए is going to be very difficult. So what you can remember is anything which is above 130 milligrams of LDL is considered to be a high risk factor. Even 140 is not considered to be normal. Okay, so yeah, anything above 130 not good. Now let's talk about total cholesterol. So I told you yesterday that 200 or lesser is considered to be normal. 200 to 240 is considered to be borderline high. आजकल 240 तक भी normally consider करते हैं सब लोग. कोई मतलब 240 तक even the doctors say oh it's normal. They would not even tell you that you're borderline high. Okay, so but then for us we always tell the patient the true picture and we tell them that look it should be below 200 और आपका 230 है तो आपका 30 ज़्यादा है. थोड़ा सा उनको वैसे भी बताना पड़ता है so that they can start taking care of the diet, and otherwise there is no motivation for everyone. If all your facts and figures are normal, then you will not want to diet control, you will not want to lose weight, or you will not want to get up early and go for a walk. Okay, so that's something that is to be reckoned with. And when we talk about total cholesterol, anything above 240 is considered to be very high. Okay, so anything which is above 240 is considered to be high. Then we talk about the HDL or the good cholesterol. So below 40 low, above 60 high. So above 60 तो आपका कोई नहीं मिलने वाला आजकल. I have not seen any report where which is above 30 rather. So above 60 नहीं मिलेगा, but yes, till 60 it's considered to be normal, and below 40 it's considered to be low. And low HDL is a very bad news for the body. Actually HDL का ही सारा चक्कर होता है कि अगर HDL आपका 40 से कम चला जाता है, इसका मतलब है कि अब आपका प्रॉब्लम शुरू हो गया है हार्ट रिलेटेड. So now we talk about triglyceride level. So triglyceride, as I told you yesterday also, anything which is 150 or below is considered to be normal. 150 to 200 will be borderline high. Anything above 200 to 500 is high, and above 500 is very high. Okay, so all you have to remember is triglyceride should never be more than 200 milligrams. So these are the 4 things which are very very handy when you actually read the report. Please read a lot of reports so that you get the hang of reading them, because our clients will not give us it does not look nice that the client is sitting across us and then he's telling that मेरा cholesterol इतना आया है और हमको याद ही नहीं कि वो normal level है कि कम level है कि ज़्यादा level है. तो clients के सामने कभी भी ऐसे नहीं करना चाहिए that आपको you don't know about the normal values. So please do the report reading, especially the basic reports. Know hemoglobin of the people, hemoglobin normal कितना होना चाहिए और anemia कितना होता है. It's a different figure for both the genders. Males के लिए अलग होता है, female के लिए अलग होता है. ठीक है. Thyroid profile, thyroid की रिपोर्ट पढ़ना सीखो जरूर से. थायराइड प्रोफाइल होता है जिसमें T3, T4 और TSH होते हैं. तो उन तीनों का आपको लेवल पता होना चाहिए. एटलीस्ट TSH का तो 100% पता होना चाहिए. फिर उसके बाद लिपिड प्रोफाइल आपको आना चाहिए. रिपोर्ट अच्छे से देखना. So this is also very important. So this also, and the blood pressure is again something that you should know. And diabetes की जो diabetic profile होता है, blood sugar profile, वो पूरा आना चाहिए. So you should not just know fasting blood sugar, you should also know the glycosylated hemoglobin, which is HbA1c, and you should know random blood sugar कितना होना चाहिए, and oral glucose tolerance test, OGTT. So these things you need to know by heart, you know, when you're seeing the report, because actually sometimes what happens is the client calls us also, you know, and over the phone they are going to tell us that ma'am हमारा इतना आया है, you know. So आपको immediately उनको बताना होता है कि कितना serious है उनका जो आया है और क्या है, and what is the reason and what is considered to be normal and all that. So it should be on your tips. Okay, now we'll talk about the dietary management in the cardiovascular disorders. So the dietary management is done with these common objectives. Firstly, maximum rest of the heart. Okay, so we don't want to make you run and jog and jump and get into the stressful mode, you know, वो सब नहीं होना चाहिए. Heart patients के लिए tension बहुत खराब होता है, ठीक है. और सेकेंड वाला है मेंटेनेंस ऑफ गुड न्यूट्रिशन. सो ऑफ कोर्स गोज विदाउट सेइंग, आप लोग सब डाइटिशियंस और न्यूट्रिशनिस्ट हो, आपका प्राइमरी काम होता है अपने पर्सन को बैलेंस डाइट देना एज पर देयर मेडिकल कंडीशन. देन द थर्ड इज टू लीड अ हेल्दी लाइफस्टाइल. सो ये भी आपका ही काम होता है, बिकॉज इसलिए डाइटिशियंस को हम लाइफस्टाइल मैनेजमेंट कंसल्टेंट्स बोलते हैं. तो आपका नाम ये होगा जब आप पास आउट हो जाओगे यहाँ से. सो आपका काम सिर्फ ये नहीं है डाइट बनाना, आपका ये भी काम होता है दैट यू आर टेलिंग देम हाउ मच वाटर टू हैव, व्हाट टाइम दे शुड स्लीप, व्हाट टाइम दे शुड वेक अप, व्हिच काइंड ऑफ एक्सरसाइज दे शुड डू, व्हेन दे शुड गो फॉर दैट एक्सरसाइज, व्हाट टाइम दे शुड हैव डिनर, whether they should smoke or drink, how much they should, and even if they can drink, if they'll have to drink, you have to recommend them that how much they can drink, what are the safe and permissible limits, which type of drink they can have, you know. So all these things, it's our job to tell them. So that's why you guys are called lifestyle management consultants, because your work is beyond giving food to people. Only food in today's times is not going to suffice. It won't serve you the purpose. You have to go beyond talking to people about food. Okay, like उठना बैठना, कब सो रहे हैं, कब जाग रहे हैं, किस टाइम क्या कर रहे हैं, कैसे खाना खा रहे हैं, स्मोकिंग ड्रिंकिंग के बारे में आपको बताना होता है. तो वो सारी चीजें भी आपको ही बतानी होंगी, है ना, बिकॉज nobody else is going to tell them that when to move, what time to go for a walk. Even if they go to a medical doctor would just say that हाँ आपको इतनी देर की वॉक करनी है. लेकिन अगर वो आपके पास आएंगे एज अ डाइट कंसल्टेंसी के लिए, तो आपको उनको ये भी बताना पड़ेगा कि देखो यू आर अ हार्ट पेशेंट, आई कैन नॉट रिकमेंड यू टू गो फॉर अ ब्रिस्क वॉक और अ रन, बिकॉज अभी आपके कोरोनरी आर्टरीज में इतना कैपेसिटी नहीं होगा, बिकॉज आपकी रिपोर्ट ऐसी आई है दैट आपका ट्राइग्लिसराइड 350 है और आपका कोलेस्ट्रॉल 280 है, दोनों ही वेरी हाई रेंज में आ रहे हैं. सो वी विल नॉट अलाउ यू टू गो फॉर अ वॉक, brisk walk or a run. We'll recommend you to go for a normal walk. Don't tell them to go on a treadmill or a cycle as of now, okay? Because the heart's lumen is very narrow. उनका बहुत ज्यादा डिमांड एंड सप्लाई में गैप आएगा. अगर हार्ट ज्यादा बीट करेगा तो हार्ट को ज्यादा ऑक्सीजन चाहिए होगी, वो ऑक्सीजन आएगी कैसे अगर इतना सारा फैटी स्ट्रीक्स का डिपोजिशन है. इसलिए हम हार्ट पेशेंट्स को कभी भी रनिंग, जॉगिंग ये सब नहीं करने को बोलते, ठीक है, नहीं तो उनको हार्ट अटैक आ जाएगा करते वक्त. सो यू हैव टू बी वेरी केयरफुल. कल भी मैंने बताया था, आज मैं रिपीट कर रही हूँ, बिकॉज कई बार ये होता है दैट यू नो अटेंशन स्पैन हमारा कम होता है, सुनते हैं एकदम से लॉस्ट हो जाते हैं, या आप सब घर में बैठे हो, कोई आ जाता है, आपके बच्चे आ जाते हैं, सो यू नो यू स्किप, यू मिस आउट ऑन सर्टेन important information, because I've seen lots of dietitians recommending a brisk walk or a treadmill run to patients who are heart patients. How can you do that? You know, because there's hardly any space in their arteries for the normal passage of the blood for day-to-day activities also. मतलब पानी लेने के जाना, डोरबेल आंसर करना, नहाना धोना, कपड़े करना, उसके लिए भी मतलब उनके पास स्ट्रेस का स्कोप नहीं है. So forget about telling them something which is extreme like climbing stairs or swimming or brisk walking or running on a treadmill. You can never recommend them this. Okay? So just be very, very careful when you're making the lifestyle changes for them. Then the next is to slow down the onset of complications. So जो भी complications उनको हो रही है उनको कम करना, that is our work only through the diet. Then to achieve gradual weight loss in overweight and obese individuals and maintain weight slightly below normal level. इसका मतलब होता है उनका वजन घटवाओ, ठीक है। अगर वो मोटे हैं, जब तक उनका वजन नहीं होगा तब तक उनका नई बीमारी ठीक होती। और उनका वेट अगर टारगेट वेट है is 75 and it's a man and you feel that the IBW or the ideal body weight is 25, आप उनका weight 70 करवा, especially if it is a CVD patient. And last is to reduce the sodium intake and maintain fluid and electrolyte balance. This is very important because you know that sodium triggers the rise of the blood pressure, and blood pressure अगर बढ़ता है तो you will also see the deposition of the triglycerides and cholesterol happening in the arteries. So that's also very, very important. So we'll do the nutrients one by one. So first we'll do about the energy. So whenever we do the nutrients for any disease, we always start by energy. Then we talk about carbohydrate, fat, proteins, vitamins, minerals, water, fiber, like that, right? So in the same sequence, we are going to do the nutrients one by one, and then we'll make a diet chart, okay, for your reference. So when we talk about the energy, so it says the total energy is the main consideration for any heart patients, and total calories तो हमको कम करनी पड़ेगी ना, because the patient is mostly overweight and obese. जब आप CVD patients में देखोगे, especially उनका पेट तो काफी निकला हुआ होता है, तो of course उनको पतला तो हमको कराना ही पड़ेगा कम वॉट में। और जब हम उनकी डाइट बनाते हैं तो अगर कोई बहुत sedentary है तो we give them only 1000 to 1200 kilocalories, which are very low, okay? But if they're eating 3000 calories right now, then you cannot make 1000, मतलब 1/3 नहीं कर सकते calories। तो अगर वो बहुत ज्यादा खाते हैं और आपको लगता है कि उनकी डाइट ऑलमोस्ट 2500 किलो कैलोरीज की है, तो डाइट में थोड़ा थोड़ा करके कम करो। Like suppose if for breakfast they are having 2 aloo ka parathas, so make it 1. If they are having 5 chapatis for lunch, then you can bring it down to 3. Okay, and for dinner, if they're having 4, you can bring it down to 3 again. So gradually cut down on their diet. If you cut down abruptly, उनको बिंजिंग होगा, और जब पेट नहीं भरता है और बिंजिंग करने का मन करता है तो बिंजिंग हमेशा रॉन्ग फूड से होती है, in the sense that they would want to have bread pakoras, cookies, हलवा, you know, like all sorts of junk food, मीठा खाने का मन करेगा उनको, तो ऐसी चीजें उनको खाने का मन करता है अगर आप एकदम से abruptly किसी की कैलोरीज कम कराते हो। But eventually bring it down to 1200 if they are not moving at all, if they are sedentary lifestyle people, because weight loss कराना बहुत जरूरी है। But अगर आप जब ये वाली डाइट दोगे ना just 1200 किलो कैलोरी की, तो आपको विटामिन एंड मिनरल सप्लीमेंट लेना पड़ेगा। So put them on A to Z tablets post breakfast. A to Z is complete multivitamin and multimineral, okay, and a very good one with very high bioavailability. Then the next is weight reduction should be moderately controlled or else the patient may feel weak and emaciated. मैं आपको यही बताने की अभी कोशिश कर रही थी कि abruptly किसी की डाइट कम मत करो, एक एक रोटी कम कर दो दोनों मील से। इफ दे आर राइस ईटर्स, सो राइस की क्वांटिटी जितनी होती है उनको बोलो, इफ दे आर टेकिंग 3 cups of rice, make it 2 cups of rice, like that you can reduce, okay? Giving rice is not at all a problem. Rice is very good for body health. And whether the patient is diabetic or not diabetic, I told you last time when we're doing diabetes that, you know, it is a myth that rice will increase or cause the diabetes. It does not, okay? In fact, it is good for a diabetic patient. So this is about the energy. Now we'll talk about the fat. So fat becomes a very important and the key nutrient when we are talking about the cardiovascular disorder patients. So okay, So there it says that there is a consistent support for the hypothesis that both the quantity and the quality of the fat are directly associated with the elevation of most blood lipids, particularly the LDL and cholesterol. So I just want to let you know that fat, of course, like for those of you who are not our DDHN students, you know that there are three kinds of fat that we have. One is PUFA, which is polyunsaturated fatty acid. The second category is MUFA, which is monounsaturated fatty acid. And the third category is saturated fatty acid, which is the SFA. So here in this case, we give more of the fat as PUFA and MUFA. PUFA can further be divided into three, which is omega-3, omega-6 and omega-9. So omega-9 जो होता है वो तो आपकी बॉडी में मैन्युफैक्चर हो जाता है, उसके बारे में you don't need to worry about at all. If you don't consume from your diet, your body synthesizes it as much as it is required. Okay, but when we talk about omega-6 fatty acid, it's already there in all the refined oil that you consume in your So when we talk about this, and most of, like as I told you, that MUFA is never a problem because your mustard oil would have it, your soya bean oil would have it, your sunflower oil would have it. The ones, the normal refined oil that you cook your food in, they all have omega-6. Omega-6 is never a problem. Then omega-3 becomes an issue because we don't have any like as such a dietary source of omega-3, उसको हमको अलग से लेना ही पड़ेगा. और omega-3 बहुत important होता है for the reduction of LDL and increase in HDL. Okay, and you know how where all omega-3 is present? So omega-3 would be present in first flax seeds. Okay, so the second thing will be walnuts. Third is going to be chia seeds. Fourth is going to be, almonds. And the next is avocados, in case you can manage to get hold of them. So either of these, the best is flax seeds to be consumed. Flax seeds, you just have to dry roast in a pan. It's ready to have it and it's very economic. Rest of the things are quite expensive. Okay, so we may not be able to give it to people who can't afford it because काफ़ी महंगे होते हैं. वॉलनट्स भी 1500 to 2000 रुपीज़ kg होते हैं. सो omega-3 क्योंकि घर में सबको देना होता है ना, बिकॉज द ब्रेन इज मेड अप ऑफ omega-3. योर सेल वॉल का component is omega-3 and it does several other very important things, that if it is high in your blood, it is automatically it's going to bring down your LDL and it will elevate your HDL. That is the kind of body we want. So hence PUFA becomes very important to be consumed, especially omega-3. तो जब हम डाइट चार्ट अभी बनाएंगे अपने पेशेंट की, तब आप देखना that we would definitely be giving to them the PUFA or the omega-3 source. Don't give fish oil to people, okay? These days, firstly, fish oil एक तो is very very expensive. It costs you some 3,000 to 4,500 for 30 tablets. And second thing, fish oil, of late I have noticed that it has started coming fake, in the sense that ये कैप्सूल में आते हैं और उस कैप्सूल में ओमेगा ऑयल को भर के दिया जाता है, ऑलिव ऑयल को और इन सब को. So olive oil is filled in those capsules where fish oil should be filled. Why? Because olive oil is easily available in the market. Fish oil जो होता है जिसमें omega-3 rich होता है, that's available in the deep sea fish, जो गहरे समुद्र के नीचे की तरफ वाले पानी में होती है, जो ऑलमोस्ट सरफेस होता है सी का, उसमें जो फिश रहती है उसके लिवर के अंदर omega-3 होता है. So it is not easy to be extracted. As it is, हमारी marine life बहुत कम होती जा रही है और deep sea fish को पहले तो निकालना ऊपर, ठीक है, उसके बाद उसके लिवर में से फिश ऑयल को निकाल के उसको पैकेज करके देना. और पूरी दुनिया में everybody is talking about omega-3 because suddenly it's been a spurt of information that people have realized that how important omega-3 is for the brain and for the heart health. So everybody is wanting to take omega-3 these days. So so they all go in for fish oil. Okay, इसलिए fish oil आधे से ज़्यादा नकली आते हैं मार्केट में, इसलिए please try to consume the fish oil, you know, the foods that you can see with your eyes. Like आप अगर afford कर सकते हो तो आप walnuts लो, which is अखरोट, और almonds आप ले सकते हो. अगर almonds और अखरोट आप नहीं afford कर सकते तो आप please flax seeds लीजिए, उससे भी बहुत ज़्यादा फर्क पड़ता है. नहीं तो चिया सीड्स ले सकते हो. चिया सीड को कुछ नहीं करना है, उन सीड्स को मिल्क में या कर्ड में डाल के यू कैन जस्ट हैव इट लाइक दैट, और यू ऐड इट टू योर ग्रेवी वाला सब्जी, एंड एज इट इज दे डोंट हैव अ वेरी प्रोमिनेंट टेस्ट और एनीथिंग. तो ऐसा भी नहीं है कि टेस्ट अच्छा नहीं लगता उसका. ठीक है, तो ओमेगा 3 से बहुत फर्क पड़ता है ब्लड कोलेस्ट्रॉल लेवल्स को. So then the next line says the total calories from fat should not exceed 25 to 30% of the day's calorie. That goes for all the other, even for the normal health condition, that we normally give fat which is 25 to 30%, but here quality is going to change because we are not giving them SFA. So preference of PUFA and MUFA over SFA is preferred obviously. Addition of omega 3 is especially important to increase HDL, which helps to remove the fatty streaks. So जैसे ही आपका HDL increase होता है, जो uncalcified fatty depositions हैं आपकी arteries में, they start coming down to your liver, and from the liver they get excreted. So it's that simple when you take omega 3. So yeah, it really kind of works. So yes, what kind of fat you're taking is very important. No trans fat, okay? So trans fat और वनस्पति घी, अगर आपके घर में डालडा आता है तो आपको प्लीज स्टॉप करना है उसको लाना, बिकॉज सैचुरेटेड फैट हम बिल्कुल भी अलाउ नहीं करते. हम देसी घी भी नहीं अलाउ करेंगे हार्ट पेशेंट को, बिकॉज वो SFAs में बहुत रिच होता है. एटलीस्ट जब तक उनका कोलेस्ट्रॉल और ट्राइग्लिसराइड कंट्रोल नहीं हो जाता तब तक वी विल नॉट गिव देम घी वाली रोटियां. I mean, we'll not put, ghee on the chapatis or on the rice, or even on the dal ka tadka would be done in the PUFA oil only. It will not be done in the desi ghee. And trans fat is also present in bread, biscuits, pastas, fans, rusk, any kind of bread, okay? Whether it is a Subway sandwich wali whole grain bread, or whether it is, like whatever kind of a bread with chia seeds and bread with flax seeds or whatever. Or if it is a bread, it is definitely made in maida. अगर वो oats bread बोलते हैं तो उस पे जितने oats आपको ऊपर से नजर आ रहे हैं बस उतने ही होते हैं. Bread is always made with maida and trans fat. Okay, so now let's talk about the nutrient cholesterol, which comes under the umbrella of fat only. So I told you yesterday also that cholesterol is present only in foods of animal origin. It is zero in the vegetarian sources. Okay, so cholesterol, it says that it's a natural component of all the animal foods like mutton, pork, ham, sausages, lamb, chicken, eggs, etc. Eggs के केस में cholesterol is present in the egg yolk. It is not there in egg white. So as I told you, if you remember yesterday, I told you that the cholesterol manufacturing factory is present within your liver only. Your liver makes 600 to 800 milligram of cholesterol on a daily basis. और इसके अलावा आपको इसके अलावा you are allowed to take 250 to 300 milligram of dietary cholesterol also. ठीक है, लेकिन cholesterol patients को हम dietary cholesterol 0 देते हैं. We don't give them dietary cholesterol at all. Hence, we need to put them on a vegetarian meal to begin with. Okay, and the second thing is that already your liver is manufacturing whatever cholesterol you need, तो इसलिए कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं होती है. जितना कोलेस्ट्रॉल आपकी बॉडी को जरूरत पड़ती है आपका लिवर बना देता है. एंड इसमें सी लाइन नंबर 3 में बहुत कैटेगोरिकली लिखा हुआ है that for hypercholesterolemic patients a vegetarian diet is most suitable as no plant food contains the cholesterol. Okay, which is very true. Then the cholesterol can be added in the food if high amount of SFA. SFA are cholesterolemic in nature. They can convert into cholesterol in the body. Okay, so hence be very careful about. As I told you that SFA we will not be giving. Cholesterol तो हम बिल्कुल भी नहीं देंगे, इसलिए हमको वेजिटेरियन डाइट पे डालना होता है अपने पेशेंट्स को.
Now let's talk about
the SFA, saturated fatty acid. अभी भी हम फैट वाला ही पोर्शन कर रहे हैं बिकॉज ये सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट न्यूट्रिएंट होता है टू बी कंट्रोल्ड. So, saturated fatty acids are the fats which become solid. Like, we teach you in DDH, and I don't know if you remember, if you've already done that chapter, fats, where we've talked